Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Good morning to you. It's a Tuesday morning here on American Muslim 360. My name is William Kareem, and the name of the program that we do is Stories of the Lives of the Prophets. Stories of the Lives of the Prophets is a book that was written by Ibn Kathir. It is very well known, a very well known book in Muslim culture. uh, what the stories of the lives of the prophets does. This stories, it tells of the lives of the prophets from Adam to Muhammad. These are traditional stories that have come down through time. Of course, in many cases, you've probably heard them because they are the same stories, similar to stories in the Bible about Adam, about Noah, about many of the prophets. With stories of the lives of the prophets, it talks about the 25 prophets of Islam. So we did Adam, which was the first prophet, and we say that, and I hope there's no dispute about that, because this is something that was told in uh, Hebrew history and also Christian history. So we do Adam. Now, the next prophet that was done was called Idris in Muslim culture. However, in Christian and Jewish culture, he's called Enoch. So Enoch is recognized as the second prophet. And then the third prophet is Noah. The third prophet, Noah, is also recognized in Hebrew history and Christian history. The fourth prophet is, according to Islam, is Hud or Hud. Uh, he was a prophet that came to the people of between Yemen and I think it's Yemen and Qatar. But it was the people between two rivers. All right. But he came to them, and what he did is he reminded the people because the people started to go astray. And when we say go astray, what do we mean by that? Well, what we mean is that even though this great tragic flood happened with Noah and all the people of that area was killed, and when the next prophet came, Hud came, the people went back to making idols and being pursuing their self-interest. Now they were blessed people. They were talented. They had good looks. They were able to amass great wealth from the creation by making things that Allah had made, and they were able to amass great wealth uh, and do many good things for their people. But it was in the interest, it was self-interest that made it different. And then when people started to praise them for the good that they did, rather than say, yes, yes, well, rather than say, yes, the praise belongs to my Lord, they said, yes, I did do that. I did it with my own two hands. I was able to amass this. Many of you weren't able to do it, but because of the talent that I have, I was able to do it. So that's what you call self-satisfaction and self-interest. And so you take all of the credit for yourself and you don't give the credit to the creator of the heavens and the earth. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Um, so HUD came to them and said, listen, you've been blessed. The creator has done a lot of great things for you. But what you need to do is give the credit to the creator for blessing you, for favoring you to do these things. But instead, they took the credit themselves. The people looked up to him. So because the people looked up to him, was like, listen, Hud, you come again. Here it is. You didn't amass a great fortune. All you doing is talking. I mean, you one of my brothers. We understand that. But this stuff that you're telling us, man, I don't think. I think there's something wrong with you. I think there's something wrong with you, Hud. I think there's something wrong with you. So they didn't listen to HUD. And then what HUD did was he said to them, he said a powerful statement. And that powerful statement was, hold on, he said something powerful because what wound up happening. Okay, yeah. So what happened was the people said to him, and this is in chapter 11, Surah 11, verses 53 and 54. They said, O Hud, no evidence have you brought to us, and we shall not leave our gods for your mere saying so. It's because you telling us that. In other words, it's because you telling us we're not going to believe that. And we are not believers in you. This is what it says. All that we say is that some of our gods, the false deities, have seized you with madness. So Hud responded, and he said to them, he said, I call Allah to witness and bear you witness that I am free from that which you ascribe as a pure worship with him. So plot against me all you want, all of you, and give me no respite. I put my trust in Allah, my Lord and your Lord. There is not a moving creature, but he has grasp of its forelocks. Verily, my Lord is on the straight path, the path of truth. So if you turn away, still I have conveyed the message with which I was sent to you. My Lord will make another people succeed you, and you will not harm him. That's Surah 11, verse 54 through 57, or chapter 11, 54 through 57. So they called him mad. You told him he was a madman. He was crazy. Because he was, delivering the message. He wasn't trying to fight them or anything, but they was pissed off at him just because he was telling them that, you're doing this wrong and you should, straighten yourself out. Now, I would say that today there are many people who try to say that they are um, messengers of the creator of the heavens and the earth. They say they're messengers of Jesus. They even predict the end of time, which, from what I understand, it was supposed to be last month. I think it was the 23rd of September. They was predicting, and there were many people that were following that. And then they changed it and said, oh, it's not, it's not September 23rd. You know what it is? It's October 7th. Oh, well, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but I think what is the day? October 14th? Today, October 14th? But the point is that there are many people that through fear and through other false belief and false worship, they believe these things. And so many people, you'll wind up going astray. So anyway, what winded up happening is that the people of Hud winded up being destroyed. That's what happened. So today we're going to move on to the next prophet, which is the fifth prophet, which is Prophet Salih. That's Salih. Now, this is a prophet that is not in the Bible. I don't know if it's in Hebrew history, but we know that the Bible is a book that has been tampered with, meaning that the Bible means a collection of books, and some of the stories, some of the traditional stories or traditional sayings have been left out. Just like Enoch, the second prophet, was left out of the Bible because the human being came in and said, well, we're going to put this in, we're going to put that in, we're going to put this in, we're going to put that in. And so that's why you have Bibles like the King James Version. So what King James did is he said, well, we're going to put this in, that in, we're going to put that in. Oh, we ain't going to put in HUD. We ain't going to put that in. But we'll put this in, we'll put that in, we'll put that in. And so it winds up being the King James Version. It is a version that my family grew up on. And I'm talking about my forefathers that was here in the American circumstance. in the 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s. It is the book that I have. I have a family Bible from 1844, and it's a King James version. So Prophet Salih is not in it, but we're reading from the stories of the life of the prophets by Ibn Kathir. And according to Muslim history, Islamic history, and according to Ibn Kathir, this is the fifth prophet, which is Salih. So this is the description of the people of Thamud. After the destruction of the Ad people, which were the people that Hud came to, the tribe of Thamud succeeded them in power and glory. They also fell to idol worship. It's what the human being does. I'm talking about the one with two arms, two legs, a head, something on his head, a brain on his head. They fall to idol worship. So as their material wealth increased, so too did their evil ways, while their virtue decreased. So their wealth may have increased, but what was it? Their virtues, their morality decreased. Like the people of Ad, they erected huge buildings on the plains and hewed beautiful homes out of the hills. Tyranny and oppression became prevalent as evil men ruled over the land. Tyranny and oppression. Wow, that sounds very similar to what's going on today. Tyranny and oppression about some of the people that are in charge today that are that are hiring people and offering them, listen, I'm gonna give you $50,000 if you just sign up, and I want you to be uh, loyal to me. Tyranny and oppression, and then these people of today are oppressing the people um, that are in many of the states in the United States. So I'm going to read that again. So after the destruction of Ad, the tribe of Thamud succeeded them in power and glory. They also fell to idol worshiping. As their material wealth increased, so too did their evil ways. I don't know why people think that money is going to but some people become so comfortable with their money that it's like I got so much money, um, that I can buy my way out of anything. Basically, that's what it is. I got so much money, I can hire the best of lawyers. Uh, uh, if I get sick, I can go to the best of doctors. So I'm immune. I'm immune from all of the things that regular people will go through. I don't know why they say that. There was a great man that lived among us in this current time. His name was well, I forgot his name, but he was the creator of Apple, the Apple computer, and he had a lot of money, but it couldn't save him. It couldn't give him a life. It couldn't save him. With all the doctors that he went to and everything, come to find out he was an organic being. He was organic, and he wanted, and all his wealth and power couldn't save him, and so
I
he.
think that was Steve Jobs.
Yes, thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Yes, Steve Jobs.
You're welcome.
You're right, Jobs, Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs. Yeah, that's who it was. With all the money he had, couldn't save him. So anyway, tyranny and oppression became prevalent as evil men ruled the land. The description of Salih. Who was Salih? Well, Salih, so Allah sent unto them his prophet Salih, a man from among them. So, the prophets always don't come from outside. Hey, how y'all doing? Listen, I was sent with a message, from the Lord. I come from, some other land, but I was sent here to talk to you. I mean, it did happen in one case, and I'll tell you about that. But as we go down the line, that did happen with one of the prophets. But with this particular prophet, it says, so Allah sent unto them his prophet Salih, peace be upon him, a man from among them. His name was Salih ibn Ubaid ibn Masa ibn Ubaid ibn Hada ibn Thamud ibn Atha ibn Eber ibn Noah. So he was from the bloodline of Noah. And the word Ibn means son. So it was Salih, the son of Ubaid, it was the son of Musa, and the son of Ubaid, and the son of Hada, the son of Thamud, the son of Ather, the son of Iran, the son of Noah. Okay. So this was one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. This was seven generations after Noah that he came. And it doesn't say that he was related to who. That's interesting. It didn't say that he was related to who. But it did say that he was related to Noah, which is the third prophet. And remember, we're talking about, if we talk about the first prophet, Adam, it's not like there's millions and millions of people on the earth at this time. The human being, um, we talked about, I guess, civilized human being wasn't on the earth at this time, according to the traditional stories. While some of them believed him, the majority of them disbelieved him and harmed him by both words and deeds. Salih directed them. And this is from Quran, Surah 11, verse 61. O my people, worship Allah. You have no other God but him. That's Surah chapter 11, verse 61. So Salih was known for his wisdom, purity, and goodness, and had been greatly respected by his people before Allah's revelation came to him. Salih's people said to him, and this is verse 62 from chapter 11. O Salih, you have been among us as a figure of good hope, and we wished for you to be our chief. Till this new thing which you have brought, that we have to leave our gods and worship your God, Allah alone? Do you do you now forbid us the worship of what our fathers had worshipped? But we are already in grave doubt as to that which you invite us to monotheism, the oneness of God. So it just goes to show you that people have a tendency to self-satisfaction, that people have a tendency to accept praise and glorification for themselves. People, we talking human beings, even among us, today, have a tendency to utilize their hands and do great things and then take the credit for it. They take the word, yeah, I did this. My own hands did this. Don't tell me I got to give some praise, to the Lord of the worlds, to the Creator of the heavens. Don't tell me I have to do that. I don't have to do that. I did it. And then common people who may not be as favored to accomplish as much as people in power do, they wind up praising them. And then they wind up making idols out of them by selling T-shirts with their names on it, by making posters. Come see what this person did. They make posters and pull them all around. Come gather in this stadium. Come gather in this stadium and watch the great performance that I can do. And come spend your money to see these people that have an intelligent voice, that have found a way to utilize words to be comedic, to utilize their voices. Come, worship these people who have made great buildings even today, who have amassed great wealth even today. Come worship them. If you are ever in their presence, you should give them praise and glorification. Anyway, moving forward. Well, that's in this time, but we're talking about the time of Solomon. Let me get back to it. So Sally's people demand a miracle. So they merely wanted to worship the same gods as their father had, with no reason, no proof, no thought. The proof of Sally's message was evident, peace be upon Sally. But despite that, but despite this, it was obvious that most of his people did not believe him. They doubted his word. And I mean, this is normal for people to do. From what I've come through in my life, if somebody comes along and says that they are, that they are, that they are, I really don't pay it any attention. How about you? No, we don't pay it any attention. But we pay attention to the good that comes out of the people. And so that's where, Sally may have been telling them they merely wanted to worship the same gods as their fathers had, with no reason, no proof, no thought. The proof of Sally's message was evident, but despite this, it was obvious that most of his people did not believe him. They doubted his words, thinking he was charmed, and they saw that he would not stop preaching. Fearing that his followers would increase, they tried to put him off by assigning him an important task to prove that he was a messenger of Allah by performing a miracle. Let a unique she-camel issue from the mountains. Allah granted Salih this miracle, and a huge, unique she-camel appeared from the direction of the mountains. The Quranic commentator said that the people of Thamud gathered on a certain day as their meeting place, and the Prophet Salih came and addressed them to believe in Allah, reminding them that the favors of Allah had granted them. Then, pointing to a rock, they demanded, ask your Lord to make a she camel, which must be 10 months pregnant, tall and attractive, issued from the rock for us. Salih replied, look down. If Allah sends you what you have requested, just as you have described, will you believe in that which I have come to you with and have faith in the message I have been sent with? They said, yes. So he took a vow from them on this. They prayed to Allah, the Almighty, to grant this request. Allah ordered the distant rock to split asunder to bring forth a great 10-month she camel. When their eyes set on it, they were amazed. They saw a great thing, a wonderful sight, a dazzling power, and clear evidence. So this is the story that's being told. All right. And I am presenting it to you. It's from the book by Ibn Kathir, Stories of the Lives of the Prophets. So so a number of Salih's people believed, yet most of them continued in their disbelief, stubbornness, and going astray. Allah the Almighty said in Quran, we sent the she camel to Thamud as a clear sign, but they did her wrong. That's Surah 17, verse 59, or chapter 17, verse 59. Now, you might say, well, this is a uh, miraculous thing because if we were supposed to deal with the logic of today, a she camel coming out of the mountains would be, we would say, would be pure magic. However, we have to take into consideration, as Muslims, we take into consideration that what the Quran says is true. Okay, so even though the story is saying, Sally, you have been among us a figure of good hope, and we wish for you our chief, till this now, this new thing which you have brought, that we leave our gods and worship your God. Do you not forbid us to worship what our fathers worship? So right there, this is not something that says that some she camel came out the mountains. And then the Quran says 1759. It says, we sent the she camel to Thamud as a clear sign, but they did her wrong. Okay. So it's not saying that you know, the she camel came out the mountains in the Quran. It doesn't say that. It says it in the story, the traditional story. All right, that's being told here. So as we continue, so we took this vow for them, then prayed to Allah the Almighty to grant their request. Allah ordered the distant mountain to split asunder to bring forth a great 10-month pregnant she camel. When their eyes set on it, they were amazed. They saw a great thing, a wonderful sight, a dazzling power and evidence. A number of Salih's people believed, yet most of them continued in their disbelief, stubbornness, and going astray. And Allah, that's where Ibn Kathir says, we sent the she camel to the family as a clear sign, but they did her wrong. And also, it says, verily, the dwellers of Al Hijra, the rocky tract, denied the messengers. We gave them our signs, but they were adverse to them. There are a number of ancient accounts of this camel. There you go. And its miraculous nature. It was said that the she camel was miraculous because a rock in the mountain split open and it came forth from it, followed by its young offspring. Other accounts said that the she camel used to drink all the water in the wells in one day, and no other animals could approach the sea camel. Still others claim that the she camel produced milk sufficient for all people to drink on the same day that it drank all the water, leaving none for them. So at first, the people of Thamud were greatly surprised when the she camel issued from the mountain's rocks. It was a blessed camel, and its milk sufficient for thousands of men, women, and children. If it slept in a place that if it slept in a place that place was abandoned by other animals, thus it was obvious that it was not an ordinary camel, but one of Allah's signs. It lived among Salih's people. Some of them believed in Allah, while the majority continued their obstinacy and disbelief. Their hatred of Salih turned them towards the blessed sheep camel and became centered on it. A conspiracy started to hatch among the camel by the disbelievers, and they secretly plotted against the camel. So Salih feared that they might kill the camel. So he warned them, "O my people, this is the she camel of Allah, and it's a sign for you. Leave her to feed on Allah's earth, and touch her not with evil, lest a near torment will seize you." And again, that's Surah 11, verse 64. So this is in the Quran. So because this is in the Quran, in this way that Allah doesn't, the Quran doesn't go into the specifics like it does in the stories of the lives of the prophets by Ibn Kathir, but it gives the general outline. And it says, "O my people, this she camel of Allah is a sign for you. Leave her to feed in on Allah's earth, and touch her not with evil, lest a near torment will seize you." So, because that part comes from the Quran, we are to have faith and believe that. And I think that basically, if we look at what it's saying, to that degree, we can basically say that it was a test for the people. It was a test that Sally came and told them, stop worshiping idols, and they wanted a miracle. So this miracle, the she camel, came about. And when this she camel came about, you know, they thought that it was a basic miracle, but they didn't like the she camel because I guess there were some things that the she camel said, as in the story, that the she camel would drink up all the water and couldn't get any water from the other animals, and the other animals couldn't get any water. So the people started to despise the camel, and because they despised the camel, they started to plot against the camel. Look, this camel, we can't feed our cows, we can't do this and that. We may as well kill the she camel. But Sali came to them and said, um, they said, "Oh my people, this is a she camel, Allah of Allah. It's a sign for you. Leave her to feed on Allah's earth, and touch her not with evil, lest a near torment will seize you. So this was what Sally was telling them. And of course, they didn't believe it. For a while, Sally's people let the camel graze and feed freely, but in their hearts they hated the camel. However, the miraculous appearance of the unique camel caused many to become Salih's followers, and they clung to their belief in Allah. Alhamdulillah. So, there are stories that circulated about the she camel that Ibn Kathir is telling us about. The disbelievers now began complaining that this huge she camel, with its unusual qualities, drank most of the water and frightened their cattle. They laid in a plot to kill the camel and sought the help of their women folk to tempt the men to carry out their commands. Saduk bin Saduk bin of Mahya. Okay, bint means the daughter of. So Ibn is the son of. Bint is the daughter of. Her name was Saduk, who was from a rich and noble family. Are we surprised? She's rich and noble. I got all the money and everything, man. I got money, I got power, and look, I do what I want to do. Who was from a rich and noble family, offered herself to a young man named Masraya ibn Miraj, the son of Miraj, on condition that he hamstring the camel. Asna, an old woman, offered one of her daughters to a young man, Huda ibn Saluf, in return for killing the camel. Naturally, these young men were tempted and set about finding 7 others to assist them. So here it is, and at that time, at this time, it seems like, women were important. Listen, I will offer myself to you if you kill the camel. Another one, the old lady said, I'll give you one of my daughters if you kill the camel. So, and they got others to assist them. Continuing, they watched the camel closely, observing all its movements. As the she camel came to drink at the fountain, Mazarai shot it in the leg with an arrow. It tried to escape, but was hampered by the arrow. Huda followed the camel and struck it with a sword in the other leg. As it fell to the ground, he pierced it with his sword. So you know why they killed him. They killed the camel. They killed the camel because uh, they wanted the prize. They wanted the prize. And the prize was a woman. So, one moment, I winded up losing my place. Okay. Okay. The killers were given a hero's welcome, cheered with song and poetry, composed in their praise. In their arrogance, they mocked Sally, but he warned them, enjoy life for 3 more days, then the punishment will descend upon you. Sally was hoping that this was that they would see the folly of their ways and change their attitudes. Come on, come on. And change their attitudes before the 3 days went out. Why 3 days? They asked. Let the punishment come as quickly as possible. He pleaded with them, my people, why do you hasten to evil rather than good? Why do you not ask pardon of Allah so that you may receive mercy? But they replied, we see your presence and that of your followers as bringing evil on us. So Allah the Almighty said in his Quran, and indeed, I'm gonna have to, and indeed we sent to Samud their brother Salih, saying, worship Allah alone and none else. They then look, they became 2 parties, believers and disbelievers, quarreling with each other. He said, oh my people, why do you seek to hasten the evil before the good? Why seek you not the forgiveness of Allah that you may receive mercy? They said, we don't agree. We don't believe the omen from you and those with you. Your ill omen is with Allah. Nay, but you are a people that are being tested. So they said, well, we don't agree with your omen. And Sally said, your ill omen is with Allah. Nay, but you are a people that are being tested. And then, and there were in the city 9 men from the sons of their chiefs who made mischief in the land and would not reform. They said, swear to another by Allah that we shall make a secret night attack on him and his household, and afterwards we will surely say that his near relatives. We witness not the destruction of his household, but verily we are telling the truth. So they plotted a plot, and we planned a plan, while they perceived not. Then see what was the end of those. Then So they plotted a plot, and we planned a plan, while they perceived not. Then see how was the end of their plot. Verily, we destroyed them and their nation altogether. There are these are their houses in utter ruin, for they did wrong. Verily, in this indeed, verily, in this is indeed a lesson or a sign for people who know. We save those who believe, and you used to fear and obey Allah. Surah 27, verse 45. That's from the Quran. So we are obligated to believe that. If we believe that the Quran is the word of the creator of the heavens and the earth that was given to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, we believe that because that is what Sali is quoting from. Yeah, he put that in. They also plotted to kill Sali and his household, as Almighty Allah stated. So they plotted and we planned a plan while they perceived not. So that's Surah 27:50. But Allah saved Salih and his followers from their wicked plans. Heavy hearted, they left the evildoers and moved to another place. 3 days after Salih's warning, thunderbolts filled the air, followed by severe earthquakes, which destroyed the entire tribe and its homeland. The land was violently shaken, on destroying all living creatures in it. There was one terrific cry which had hardly ended when the disbelievers of Salih's people were struck dead, one and all at the same time. Neither their strong buildings nor their rocks, hewn homes could protect them. All right, so I have 15 minutes left in the program, so I'm gonna open up the microphone. Um, let's take a sip of green tea as we continue. Um, um, Allah the Exalted said, the family people, oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to read that part again. Oh, this is another verse from the Quran. As a matter of fact, this is Surah 7 or verse chapter 7 in the Quran. And anyone that's listening here, you should read the Quran, and especially if you're a Christian. If you follow the Christian faith, and you will find that in the Quran, many of the prophets that are in the Holy Bible are also in the Quran. It's the same. There's a couple of different ones that are in the Quran, but the message is the same. Okay, so to the Tamil people, we sent their brother Salih. He said, "Oh, my people, worship Allah. You have no other God but Him. Indeed, there have come to you a clear sign um, from your Lord. This she-camel of Allah is a sign unto you. So leave her to graze in Allah's earth, and touch her not with harm, lest a painful torment seize you. Remember when we made you successors after the Ad people. We're talking about the people after the Ad people were the people of Hud. And so Sali is the people of Thamud. And he and as a matter of fact, Hud said, remember what happened to the people of Noah. So Sali said, remember what happened to the people of Ad. And then the Hud said, remember what happened to the people of Noah. So even though we have all of these prophets that come to say, remember what happened to those who've gone before you, people still, human beings, they still go ahead and do it. That's basically what it's saying. He said, um, this sheep comes, leave her to graze in the law's earth, and touch her not with harm, lest a painful torment shall seize you. Remember, we have made you successors after the Ad people, and gave you habitations in the land. You built for yourselves palaces in plain, and carved out homes in the mountains. So remember the graces bestowed upon you from Allah, and do not go about making mischief on the earth. You know, when uh, when and this has happened in the Middle East a couple of times. A couple of times this has happened anyway. Let's so remember in today's time this has happened um in the Middle East. Remember when we made you successors, right, to add people and gave you habitations in the land you built for yourselves, palaces in plains, and carved out homes in the mountains. So remember the graces bestowed upon you from Allah. The leaders of those who were arrogant among his people said to those who were counted weak, to such of them as believed. You see that? You hear that part? The leaders of those who were arrogant among his people said to those who were counted weak, to such of them who believe, know you that Sali is one sent from his Lord. They said, we indeed believe in that which has been sent. No, let me say, wait a minute. Oh, so this is saying the leaders of who were arrogant among his people said to those who were counted weak, as such who believe. So they asked him, uh, you people that are basically are saying, you people who are following Sali, do you know that Sali is one sent from his Lord? And so these so-called weak people said, we indeed believe in that which he was sent. For those who were arrogant said, verily, we disbelieve in that which you believe in. So they killed the she-camel and insolently defied the commandment of their Lord and said, O Salih, bring about your threats, if you are indeed one of the messengers of Allah. So the earthquake seized them, and they lay dead, prostrate in their homes. Then Salih turned from them and said, O my people, I have indeed conveyed to you the message of my Lord and have given you good advice, but you don't are one that don't like good advice. And that's in Surah 7, verse 73 through 79. So I'm going to stop right here. Um, let me see. Yeah, so this here is the end of it. I'm reading. All were destroyed before they realized what happened. As for the people who believed in the message of Salih, they were saved because they had left the place. Uh, Ibn Umar narrated that while the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was passing by Thamud's house on his way to the Battle of Tabuk, he stopped together with his people there. The people fetched water from the wells from which the people of Thamud used to drink. They prepared their dough for baking and filled their water skins from it, the water from the wells. The Prophet of Allah ordered them to empty the water skin and give the prepared dough the prepared dough to the camels. Then he went away with them until they stopped at the well from which the she camel of Salih used to drink. He warned them against entering upon the people that had been punished, saying, I fear that you may be affected by what afflicted them, so do not enter upon them. So we're going to stop there, and we're getting ready to go into the next prophet, which is going to be Ibrahim, and that's going to be an interesting take. But I want to stop right here because today is Tuesday. There are other programs that are coming on, American Muslim 360, and there are other great program that's coming on a New Day Community Radio, where we have the women in Islam, and the women in Islam, what they do is they read from the Quran in Arabic, and then they read in English, and then they have conversations about it. And this is just between the Muslim sisters that they do this reading. So all Muslim sisters are invited. 10 a.m., 971-379-9162 is the telephone number at 10 a.m. So they go from like 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and then the brothers come in and give their presentation of what they thought about. But I want to turn the microphone over to Sister Martha Nyla Abdullah, because there's some other programs also going on today that you should know about. Sister Martha.
Yes, and Aiko and God's peace be upon you, everyone, today. Oh, praise be to Almighty God for being here. And yes, on AM 360, America's 360, there will be Tuesday, today is, uh, it's all about courtship and marriage. And we know how important that is. So please, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Manira Habil Umar and Bino Mohammed Beya as they come and share valuable information. But it's a continuation of our heart to heart talk, everyone. And that's Tuesday. Now, I want to say too, next Monday morning, we're beginning this Friday, we're beginning to do CWSC additional roundtables. And so, William, we will be conducting interviews with and allowing our directors to bring information forward as our directors are active and some are generated, their activity is generated by the information they share and then connecting with everyone who's listening. And you see behind me that map. We're intentionally going state by state, identifying certain critical concerns, and coming forward as our initiatives are faith, family, fasting, function, and freedom. So it's a lot of work being done behind the scene, but we will start with our director of Speakers Bureau on Friday again, and it would be a special interview for in reference to breast cancer on Friday coming with Dr. Karen. You'll get more information on her. And that following Monday, excuse me, we will be having interview and shared information from our director of Volunteer Human Resource Network, Patricia Niamat Mohammed of New Jersey. Interesting information and her involvement in the community as it is with NAACP and other venues. So you'll be hearing from her, and that will be 9 a.m. following you, William. So we want to prep the community, everyone who's listening now. Please share as you will be receiving your emails as we continue to do CWSC roundtables. And then this week, as a matter of fact, Thursday, everyone, you should have received an email inviting you to a Thursday open meeting whereby we're starting our strategic meetings. And that is 4 weeks. We will be conducting strategic planning twice a week, at least 2 hours long, at least, and that is to culminate on by November 30th, which will begin our telethon. Unlike the telethons we've held on radio, now you will see us live on Zoom. So prepare for the telethon where you will be very much involved because we want to hear from you and your influence and connection with CWSC AM 360. So please, please, please stay tuned with all that is happening with CWSC National, the intelligentsia that we are, but it's all because of you that the intelligentsia is moving. So thank a lot for you. Thank you, William, and look forward to being on the New Day for Al Islam Community Radio. As I missed last Tuesday, because I was in a meeting for the citywide iftar here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Back to
Wonderful.
you, William. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, you said all that needed to be said, and we thank you so very much, and we look forward to being with you all at 10 a.m. It's now 9 a.m. Please, 971-379-9162. Join us on a New Day for Al Islam Community Radio as we culturally connect. And until that time, I give you the greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Stop recording. Oh, one moment.